I am sitting here with my interviewee, Ellen Smith. I am
Hello.
Carolyn Shaw. We are in St. Charles, Missouri, and it is 11 o'clock in the morning. And today's date is the 28th. So, all right. And I'm at my parents' house. Well, Ellen, let's get started.
All right, I'm excited.
Good. Me too. So, first question I have for you is, when did the idea of global citizenship or global citizen first come into your vocabulary or enter your thinking?
I guess it entered my thinking back in 2010 when my husband, your brother, decided to take a job in Beijing, China. And so we packed up and we moved to Beijing. We lived there for 2 years. And at that time, I made friends with a lot of Chinese people, for one thing, and other people from, different places, Australia, England, India, France, a lot of different places. So that's when I kind of began considering myself a global citizen.
Awesome. Yes, it's a very good experience. Next question. Was your usage of this term just an accident, or was it an eloquent turn of phrase, or a metaphor, or do you really mean it?
It's not a metaphor. I guess I really mean it because I was living in an international lifestyle. Like I said, in a foreign country, a country I wasn't born in, and with a lot of other people that were not who I, was around when I was growing up and going through school and things like that. So,
all right, yeah. So taking away the term global, what does it mean to you to be a citizen?
Being a citizen to me means being an active member of society, somebody that contributes something, I guess. Working, going to school, or just any part. There's a lot of examples of citizenship, I suppose.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. And then what informed your thinking in using global citizenship that didn't necessarily show up in print?
I guess my personal experiences, just living in that international community and working. I did work some when I was overseas. I volunteered at a hospital there, the China-Japan Friendship Hospital, where I got to experience international healthcare, which is really quite different from working in hospitals here in the United States. And I also taught English in some different scenarios, taught some children, high school kids, even adults in business settings, and got to learn a lot about the Chinese system of education and how different it is from our system here in the U.S.
What is their system like? I mean, I know that you visited some homes.
I did visit some homes, and the homes are very different. Usually, the grandparents live with the parents, and there's usually just one child because the one-child policy is still in effect. I mean, there are people that have more than one child, but you pay a lot of fees to be able to have that overlooked, basically. So the home structure was everybody lives in apartments, everybody rides bikes, huge apartments, no yards or anything like that. But the system is different too. The students in China, the elementary school, high school, they have such a high stress.
Right.
I mean, basically, tests they are studying for and passing in elementary school, middle school are going to dictate whether or not they can be able to go to college in mainland China, or whether or not they're going to have to have their parents pay a lot of money for them to go abroad.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. And doesn't it give them kind of a route even to go? You're going to go into engineering, or you're going into, or is that dictated? Or
no, I didn't see that as much.
Okay.
I mean, and it probably is, maybe, especially with maybe the less wealthy people. But the students I was going to their homes and teaching, they had means to be able to hire a foreign English teacher.
Of course.
So they were, by their standards, they're quite wealthy.
Right. Okay.
And they were going to college, probably going to go into something like engineering or medicine. But
okay.
Just they had to really stress out over what they're doing in grade 7, grade 8, to make sure that they get to, you know,
Go to
the
college.
right college when they're 18 years old, which is something that I think we never had.
No, definitely right.
Never,
Not in this system.
Never really started getting competitive about grades until maybe senior year or something. You
right?
know?
That's true. Yeah.
'Cause, yeah. So.
Very interesting. All right. Well, how do you think about your identity as a citizen? Like in which your community or your communities do you consider yourself a citizen?
Right now I'm a citizen. I'm living in Madison, Wisconsin, and I live in a young college neighborhood.
Do you feel like you fit in there? Does that?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I feel like we're a bit old. So we're looking for a middle class working neighborhood to buy a house.
Sort
with
of where
other couples maybe our age starting to have kids, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So that we're looking to fit into that community, looking to be citizens of that community.
There we go.
Right
Yeah.
now we're citizens of I don't want to say transient, like renters.
Well, yeah.
People that, you know, are just going to stay, kids in college, they're staying for, you know, 6 to 9 months at a time, roommates and that kind of thing. So.
Well, that's exciting. That's kind of what you grew up with too, right?
The
middle class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Neighborhoody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Neighborhood.
All right. Well.
Libraries.
Right. Yeah. What other ideas figured into your thinking when you turned to global citizenship?
What other ideas figured into my thinking when I turned to global citizenship? Just being more aware, I suppose, of different cultures, and maybe even being more aware of people's perspective on Americans.
Oh,
and what they think of Americans.
Living in a completely different society. Yeah, that's very interesting. Did you mostly get a good feel from?
I did, actually. I mean, I was sort of surprised. There were some times where I've always heard, you know, when you're traveling, tell people you're from Canada, whatever. But I never felt, I guess, disliked or anything
kind of
for
prejudice.
for being an American. And maybe I'm being naive, maybe I was, but I never felt it.
Well, that's
so
good. No.
they did a good job of hiding it.
And then you were doing a good job of being a global citizen.
Yeah.
All right. So instead of global citizenship, why not use the term global awareness or global person or member of the human family? What does global citizenship bring to the table that other terms do not?
Global citizenship, member of the human family.
Or global awareness.
Global awareness, I think, would mean that you are just aware of news that affects the world, like international current events, issues that other cultures are facing. Citizenship makes me think that maybe you have experienced more things firsthand.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know. Yeah.
That you're part of it more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Awareness versus actually doing something. You
Oh,
know,
right.
Being somewhere.
Okay. Right.
Active member.
That's good. Very good. So some people argue that citizenship necessarily must be restrained, within state and national borders. How do you respond?
Well, legally, yes. Legally, I am a member of, or a citizen of the United States. Never was a citizen of China or anywhere else I ever visited. I had, you know, temporary visas, residence permits, whatever. I am a citizen of the United States, legally, no other country. And you have to go through a lot of processes to change that.
Right. Do you agree with those terms?
I agree with those terms, yes.
Okay. That was.
I mean, literal citizenship is definitely restricted by borders and paperwork.
Right. And it
Legally.
takes a long time. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can consider yourself a citizen of wherever you want, but no, you're not.
Right.
I mean,
a global citizen is kind of
sure.
You're
and it's just something
overview,
that you say. You know, you're not legally a global citizen, I don't guess.
Right.
But
yeah,
you can just have a lot of visas on your passport.
Are persons global citizens from birth? Is everyone a global citizen by default or by virtue of living in an independent world? Or do individuals become global citizens through life experience?
I think they become global citizens through life experience. I think everybody has the potential to become a global citizen, but I mean, I've definitely seen some, especially in the South. Not to say anything bad about the South, but and it happens everywhere. Just you see smaller communities where people, grow up in those communities, and they never leave those communities, and they never think outside of their daily life and their daily job, and that's not a bad thing, but they have no idea where Myanmar is. They can't,
Right.
point to Tibet on a map. They have no idea, never even heard of those words, which is fine. They're probably good, upstanding members of society, but I would not consider them global citizens.
Right.
But I do think everybody has the potential. I mean, to become at least globally aware.
Well, great. Well, Ellen, thank you so much. This
My
has
pleasure.
been a really nice interview.
Really nice talking to
Yes.
you, Carolyn.
All right.